Hi guys. Today we're working on composition of linear functions. So some of you might have never seen this little open circle right there. That's not a multiplication sign. That means A is composed with B of X. Some of you might have seen A of B of X. This is the same thing as this. You read A of B of X, or you read A is composed with B of X. What that means is you're going to start out with the A of X function. So we're going to start out with this one. And you're going to use the B function to compose A function with. Again, A is composed with B of X. So you're going to get B of X function and substitute that in there for X. So A is composed with B of X. So 6, and then you substitute the full function, B function, right there for X. So 4X plus 5, and then you just clean that up by distributing 6. So 6 times 4X is 24X, plus 6 times 5 is 30. Same idea goes with F of G of X, or F is composed with G of X. So we're going to start out with F of X function right there. And you're going to compose this function with the G of X function. So you're going to get this function right there and substitute where X is. So F is composed with G of X. So you start out with F of X, so 3. And then you're going to use G of X function right there for X. You're not multiplying by X, you're substituting that. That's why I have parentheses right there where X should have been. Now you distribute 3. So 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And then minus 3. And then lastly, you will just simplify negative 3 and negative 6 by combining like terms. Voila, this is your final answer right there. Notice the last one. We have F is composed with G of Y. And then you also need to find G is composed with F of Y. So notice that the order here matters. This one, the F of X function is composed with G of X function. But what is that Y doing there? We will talk about it when we get there. But we're going to go through the process that we know of. So F is composed with G of X. So you start with the F of X function, so 5, and then you replace G of X right there for X. So 3x plus 7, that's the G of X function. And then you add 4. Okay? You distribute, you clean that up. And then lastly, you were looking for F is composed with G of Y. So in order for this to be F is composed with G of Y, in the end, you have to substitute that X with Y. That's the only last step you have to remember to do in order to complete your work. Now let's see what G is composed with F of Y looks like. So you will start out with G of X right there. So in this one, we're doing G is composed with F of Y. Well, we're going to start it with X. And then we're going to do the last step right there for Y. So start with G of X. So 3. This is the function we're using. And you're going to use 5x plus 4 to substitute right there into X. So this is this function. This whole thing is this function. You're replacing f of x right there for x in the g of x function. Distribute 3. Combine like terms. And lastly, you will do g is composed with f of y, forgot parentheses there, by substituting x with y. And that is your final answer right there. Please notice that f is composed with g of y is different than g is composed of with f of y. You will end up with different answers. So the order matters. It's not always going to be the same.